So, there's a right way, and sometimes several right ways, to do things. And for every right way, there's a dozen wrong ways, at least. And the same goes for recording workouts. So, gird your loins and pay attention. This is the Strength Notation Proclamation coming at you. Some of you are my online clients, and this first part is especially for you, but for all the rest of you too. And while we're on the topic, I want to tell you this. If you don't have access to a live starting strength coach and you aren't using Starting Strength Online Coaching, you're really missing the boat. Starting Strength Online Coaching is simply the best alternative to in-person coaching available. In fact, I'd put it up against any live coach short of a certified starting strength coach. The people at SSOC are among the most educated, intelligent, hardworking, technically proficient, and client-oriented people I've ever worked with. And I had a 25-year career as a physician. Now, yes, I worked for SSOC, but they're not paying me to say this. They didn't ask me to say this. And I'm just about to say some things that will piss them off because I have opinions. Those of you who are online clients of mine are about to notice a change in how your workouts are assigned. And I'm here to tell you, I want you to ignore that. When you see the weird notation with the stupid ampersand in your Fitbot, you just look past that, down to the part in parentheses where it's written out the way decent people do it. Now, why all of this fuss? Because the bizarre perverted notation with the satanic ampersand is how we need it to be to collect progress data on our clients. And I get it. We want to make sure we're making you stronger, and that data is essential to our mission of constantly improving our coaching practice. So, as is always the case in the 21st century, we're working for the spreadsheets, not the other way around. It's the rise of the machines, people. Resistance is futile, but resist we must. So, all of you, listen to me. You might have to include a weird format for your assignment on recording of a workout, but if you're my client, you'll see the correct format too. And when you record a workout in your paper log, you do have a paper log, don't you? Go to the comments and say you have a paper log. Even if you don't, say it. Say it! When you assign a workout, coaches, and when you log a workout, athletes, and when you make up a program template mongers, there is only one correct form of notation.
Okay, this is not nouns, there are rules.
It's weight times reps times sets. God damn it. Anything else is wrong. This is not just a matter of personal preference.
Is the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules? Market.
Weight times reps times sets is correct because it is reasonable, it's logical, and yes, it's conventional. There is a rationale here. First up is logical priority. The bout is a set of sets, which are sets of reps, which are done at specified weight. So it's a question of logical priority. Of course, this means that you could also write sets times reps times weight, right? You still have the same hierarchical structure, only written in the other direction. So what difference does it make? Well, first of all, when heretics, blasphemers, terrorists, perverts, and scoundrels violate the convention, they don't do it by simply reversing the hierarchy. The most common form of perversion and blasphemy is to write weight times sets times reps, which is just so evil. But even if they did write sets times reps times weight, it would still be wrong because of the order of operations. Think about what you do in the weight room. You don't do the set before the reps and then load the bar, because that would be stupid. No, there's an order in which you do things. You load the weight onto the bar. Then you perform the reps, which constitute the components of the set. And you will then perform an assigned number of such sets, or you will then switch to another weight and do an assigned number of reps to constitute another set, which you will then do an assigned number of times. This all just seems painfully obvious, but that's not all. There's also the issue of established systematic convention. Weight times reps times sets is the standard orthography in the starting strength system as put forth in the canonical texts. We do exercises and programming, at least at the start, as specified in those texts. Why would we vary on this part of the system without good reason, of which there are none? Clients have to communicate with coaches, and coaches have to communicate with our clients, many of whom have read the books, and all of whom should have read the books, and we should use that standard notation. This isn't me being some sort of rigid, slavish crank devoted to the Church of L. Ron Ripito, as I'll make painfully clear to all concerned in a moment. It's just that this convention, which is a rational and correct one for the reasons I've already laid out, is there in our foundational texts, and using it therefore helps us to avoid confusion. Deviating from the standard is confusing. It's not our job to confuse people, and this is why, far from being rigidly Catholic and unquestioning of the good books, I have always objected to the use of a reverse standard in the foundational texts, including my own, when the weight is not specified. It's inconsistent and it's confusing. And I lost that argument. The counter-argument seems to be that nobody talks that way. But that's an assertion of phonetic priority, of valuing speech over writing. And when it comes to technical pursuits, I reject that. Which leads us to my alternative assertion of orthographic priority in technical matters. Nobody talks that way, they say. Well, that's not true. I talk that way. When a client asks me what their work set is, I say 225 by 5 by 3, and she knows exactly what I mean, because that's the written convention that I use when I assign their work sets, and the written convention that I insist upon in their logs. But even if it were true that nobody talked that way, I don't care. You see, when we write a prescription, or make up a dive table, or file a flight plan, or complete a tax return, or integrate a function, or write out a chemical reaction, or log a work set, we take no care that our orthography will, upon reading aloud, produce a mellifluous result that is pleasing to the ear or will flow trippingly off the tongue. For a lyrical phonetic result is in no way a consideration for the conventional notation of any technical enterprise. What's needed instead is precision, clarity, and consistency. You want poetry? Read some Yeats. Now, I know all this seems contentious and irascible and pathetically OCD.
Solar fucking show. Fuck, that's it. I'm out of here. Oh, come on, dude.
And I'm probably not winning hearts and minds here. And some of you will actually go from writing it the correct way to the wrong way now, just to show me and everybody else how fiercely independent you are, and in a deliberate and malicious attempt to bring more despair and sorrow to poor old Dr. Sullivan's miserable existence. But that's okay. Do it any way you want. I get it. I lost this argument. I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, what difference does it make? Watching channel, thanks for Gray Steel. Next until time, and strong stay and healthy stay.